Welcome back, everyone. So let me share my screen. I hope I didn't forget that too. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, it seems quite good.
All right, then let's start. Hi, everyone. Maybe this is your first weekly SEO live stream. I don't know that, but we want to introduce ourselves. So this handsome guy is our director of SEO. He encourages us. I'm Bushra. I'm the SEO manager and part-time content queen of BoostROAS. This handsome is here our tech guy and sexy technical SEO executive. We love him. And Yunus, introduce yourself, ma'am.
Yes, I'm working as an SEO associate in the team, and yeah, I'm improving myself every day, day by day. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
so,
So, do you want to start? Are you ready, ma'am?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's start then. So,
Uh,
what will we cover today? As you guys know, the goal of these sessions is to keep you updated on the SEO industry. We share some SEO news and we share some SEO experimentations we made previously when we have the results. Luckily, if we have the results actually. And today we will cover the topics November 2021 core algorithm update, PageSpeed Insights redesign, does URL length matter, how SEO-friendly URLs should be, using URL parameters effectively, don't forget duplicate content problems when it comes to URLs, of course, and URL optimization tests that we made.
yeah, we can start with some news.
Yeah.
On Wednesday this week, Google announced that there is a new core algorithm update rolling out for November. This one is the third in this year, in 2021. Uh, they also noted that it will take 1 to 2 weeks to fully rolled out. Fun fact about the update is it was announced right one day after Google's John Mueller answered to a question about it. I don't know. I cannot say anything for sure. Just one day later, Google announced the update. So we will start to see the
Uh,
results in a few weeks.
Actually, I guess Google has given us the Christmas present earlier this year. Last year it was December core algorithm update, but he said, "Hi, after this is Black Friday core algorithm update, guys," kind of
Yeah,
thing. And as
right on time.
usual, the guidelines Google published for this core algorithm update is also the same, so nothing changed. And we should be careful about our content standards and site structure. And we shouldn't just give any pain or headache actually to Google while crawling our websites. Actually, here, I'm not sure they will show it. Uh, Probably here we have also previous core algorithm updates winners and not I don't want to say losers, but we have previous core algorithm update evaluations in the channel. You can also watch them. So what do you think about it? Shall we continue, or do you want to
It's
talk
quite
about how poker face Google is about this?
Yes, it's quite exciting, but one intriguing thing about the update is why it happened on November, the season of all the campaigns. It's quite interesting. I hope our clients will be affected by that. Really good.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers and wait for 15 days.
Yes, it will be great. And also, PageSpeed Insights has been moved to a web.dev environment, and with a new redesign, actually there are not so many changes on reporting, or there are no changes for measuring, but the user interface, quite excited about it. He's really excited because he's uh, tech guy, yeah.
Yeah, tech guy Adem. So while we were joking around about this feature yesterday, we believe that we also talked about this. We believe that Google will just have investments in SEOs that will make us happy, and I guess this is one of them. And in the future, probably in 2022, we will see more developments like this, and that will make us happy actually. So it's good to see some development here. I wish the same thing happens also for Google Search Console features. New features would be lovely there.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
One of the latest episodes on Ask Google Bot, John Miller answered a question about URL length. The question was about if URL length matters for SEO, for rankings. He answered basically no. It doesn't matter how long the URL or how short it is. So it will not change anything for ranking. And also, one other concern was about it, the subfolders, subdirectories used in URL structures. Everyone may think that using subdirectories in URLs may create a URL depth, and it can affect ranking. But John Miller's answer was that too, no. He said it doesn't matter how many slashes, how many subdirectories you used on your URL. So it's not a ranking factor, but URL length might be important when it comes to canonicalization, where there are several copies of the page. Google will try to use the shortest one as canonical version of the page.
Actually, Mueller was giving us really tiny little bit small hint there. For me, it was a hint, but he was saying that short URL, we prefer clear URLs to detect and crawl, and that's a really good and simple hint from there. So our URLs need to be simple and clear to read. They shouldn't be intimidating, but let's talk about it in a bit later, right?
Yes, I will.
Actually, your length, I want to ask you something, Yunus, here. So let's discuss it together. So we are talking about URLs today, and during the during web redesigns, developers tend to change the URL structure, and sometimes the website owners want to change the URL. Owners want to change their own URL structures. So, do you have any suggestions for these people before changing their all URL structures and going live?
Of course, don't forget to redirect your previous URLs. It's a common mistake, and if there's some redirect chains previously applied, you should redirect them separately. Also, it's gonna be good. Anything else you want to add, Bushra?
Actually, my genius and handsome, I'm just sugarcoating, my lovely SEO director asked me a question about it today, and he said that whether we should keep the old XML sitemap of a website after URL path migration. It was really interesting, and I just wanted to talk about it. So the answer I got from there, and it's the logical one, because when I thought about it, it's the logical one. It may be good to use the old XML sitemap file for a while so that Google can find the URLs quickly and understand the redirections easily, more easily, actually. But after a while, of course, we need to update the sitemap XML file, because it wouldn't be logical to fully use all of the 301 redirections in the sitemap XML. It's unlogical. But for a little bit, it may be useful. And he's sending with demon signs right now.
Yes.
Thank you, Roman, for this really good hints there.
Thank you, Roman. I have actually never thought of it before, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
to me. Yeah, it's quite good.
Since he asked me that before the live session, I wanted to point that here.
That's good. So, how a URL should be SEO friendly? There's some recommendations by Google. It will be good if you include your keyword. Yeah, yes, Roman, exactly. It will be good if you include your keywords. Google doesn't say anything certain about it, if it's a ranking factor or not, but we have seen that it can be beneficial, and Bishra will explain it in the later slides.
Yeah. They don't say anything clear about it when we think about it, but they also give e-commerce websites best practices guides in their guidelines and in the URL directions, URL management guidelines there. Actually, they are giving the hints, and I guess you will be talking about them right now, right? In a few moments. Yes, man, go on.
Yeah, it will be better if the URLs will be descriptive and meaningful rather than consisting some IDs and numbers, some codes for the product. So it can be better both for crawlers to understand the product or human users to understand what the page is about. Of course, it should be also easy to read. To make it easy to read, you can just separate the words inside the sentence, inside the URL with some punctuation, for example, hyphens. Actually, Google recommends using hyphens instead of underscores, but they don't say why. I also don't understand why they recommend using hyphens instead of underscores. Do you have any information about it, Bishra? Do you know
It's
why?
I I read something about it in the past, but I'm not sure about. I'm gonna answer this from my point of view. It's easier to write them, and it's easier to read them.
Might be, yes.
Yeah,
Probably it is about human habits.
yeah,
Uh,
probably.
yes.
By the way, our live session listeners, if you have any idea about it, or if you have any sources, you can share from the chat, or you can share your comments about it. Right?
Please let us know. So in one of the examples here, it recommends that we should use relevant categories and subfolders if a page is located under a subcategory. It might be better for that page to be after a subdirectory, after a slash, like shop and black umbrellas instead of just black umbrellas. So Google can make the sense of it better, and users can understand that better. So it will be good if it contains 3 to 5 words. So it will be not too short, too long. It will be quite easily readable, and it will be not confusing. So there are also parameters. About the parameters, of course, when it comes to URLs, we should talk about the parameters because our URLs can change for some sequences of the pages. As talking about parameters, there's some things that we should be considering. Using fragment identifiers can cause Google not to see the difference between two pages. For example, on the top, product/t-shirt hash black, it will be same with the URL product/t-shirt hash white. There will be no difference between them. Google will ignore what is going after the hash. The hash is generally used on Jump 2 on knowledge base pages. Yeah, and parameters like page, color, size, Google recommends using a clear annotation. If you want to indicate that this is for a parameter for page 2, it should be written clearly that it is indicating page equals 2. It will be better for Google and users to understand. So for example, in here, t-shirt, a question mark, green will not make any sense. For users, it can, of course, but not for the bots. It will be better. And Google recommends using same parameters only once. If you do the opposite, one of them will be probably ignored by Google or not made sense of. Of course, there are other things about URL parameters, but now the stage is yours, Bushra. You will be talking about them.
Actually, I think Google is trying to say, don't make me understand your URLs, be as clear as possible. I don't have time for you type of thing here. And it's logical, it should be clear. So when a user can't understand your link, not for the URL parameters, actually for all of the link structures, they won't be clicking they won't be probably clicking your search results. So be as clear as possible, man.
Exactly.
And of course, the URL parameters are and create another problem when we are not careful about it. And it's, what is it, Yunus? I'm asking you, what is that?
Yeah, as everyone can see, duplicate content. And also,
Yes. So when we do not use URL parameters carefully, or if we don't differentiate the content between, for example, color alternatives, it may cause duplicate content problem for the websites. And besides the parameters here that I'm talking about, you can also create duplication problems via using the similar or the same kind of URL paths, both for your service pages and your blog categories. But I didn't mention it here, but I will talk about it in a bit. So if you have a lot of parameters, if you don't want Google to crawl all of them because you have a crawl budget stuff, if you are especially an e-commerce website, you can just use a simple robot.txt optimization rule. Or if you want to understand your parameters clearly, you can also use Google parameters, URL parameters tools. But Google suggests that if you are not an advanced SEO specialist, please do not use that tool because you may cause problems to your website. So today, actually, I want to talk about it. I want to talk a little bit about duplicate content problem with the URL paths because, why not? I love content. So I want to talk about two different URL tests that I made in the past. So Google says that there might not be an effect of the keyword use. But actually, he wasn't. Actually, do you remember that, John Mueller has a video about job domains, .jobs kind of domains. And he said that there is no effect of it for the job searches. But it was not that when we say keyword, it wasn't like that comment. That's a different subject. That's why it might be confusing for some people. So for the clear structure of our website and for the clear user intent, we should use keywords, the important keyword related, the main keyword actually related to the page, and it's important. And actually, this is a simple URL test that I made not a month, but 2 weeks ago. And this website is specialized on company establishment. People come and they give counseling services to them while establishing their company. And they had a service page called Company Establishment, but they also had a blog. And the blog also has a blog category called Company Establishment. They had the exact same H1 and meta titles. And that was a problem for us because, there are two duplicate kind of pages because there were limited content on the pages too. That's why I decided to take a test here because company establishment and the Alternative queries like companies similar to the company establishments are important for this website because leads will come from these pages, and there's a really high competition in Turkey for this kind of keywords. And the website also wanted to be in top 10 results for most of these keywords. So it was hard for them to get ranking. They had to change their content. They had to change some of their content structures, but we had limited time, and it was impossible to change all of the content at once. That's why I just wanted to start step-by-step improvements. And why not changing I told myself, why not changing the URLs? Let's change the URL structure of the service page. And the thing I made here, I just changed the URL structure for the service page, establish company, or with the Turkish translation, establish your company will be a more correct one. And I also changed the meta title and description of the blog category, company establishment guide, from company establishment to the company establishment guide, only meta description and meta title. And I just started my observation here, and these results for the last 6 months before I changed the URL structure and the other pages meta title. This is the performance of the last 6 months. This is 6 months impression data and click data. And after I changed the URL, this is the click data and impression data. Just in 15 days, the page got, because the page became more clearer. Google started to understand the logic of the page and the reason why that page exists. And after 1 week, actually, the page got positioned in top 10 search results for company establishment, establish your company, establish a company, find your company, etc. Like there were 10 words that the company got visibility in top 10 search results. And with the effect of that, of course, we had a lot more traffic, and we will have a lot higher impression rates when we compare the timelines here. So I can say that look at the average position here, by the way. This was an interesting experiment for me, and I really love the results. Actually, I will also write a content about it, how URL structures or URL change affects the pages. So the thing I can say here, don't afraid losing impressions or traffic, because something better may come if you are sure about the experiment. And of course, you can always return back to your older version of URL. So there's nothing to afraid. And there's another test that I did like 9 months ago. So one of my clients wanted to get ranked for the keyword e-invoice. It's like e-fatura in Turkey, and it's a really generic and highly competitive keyword. It's too expensive to get paid results for this keyword, and for the top 3 search results for this keyword are governmental websites. And it's not easy to beat them because of the user intent and because the keyword is so generic, maybe because people were looking for information instead of an e-invoice program solution, etc. So these websites had an invoice page, but within that invoice page, the URL structures was like /e-invoice and e-archive billing. Although all the page content is about e-invoice, but URL structure was not like that. There were 2 different keywords and 2 different user intents there. So what we want from here, they want to get in the top 5 they want to have visibility in the top 5 search results for e-invoice keyword, and they had limited time because their high season were coming at that period, like this period, and they started to lose more and more visibility for this keyword. That's why I just had not an excellent, but a risky idea for them. Why not we just separate these 2 pages, because there are 2 different intents here, and create different URLs for e-invoice and e-archive content. And instead of e-invoice solutions, e-invoice program, we changed the URL as e-invoice with the as you can understand, with the generic keyword here. And we also created another keyword page for the other keyword. Now, after the change, after 10 days of the change, we started to, as you can see from here, this is the average position, by the way. It started to improve, and we got the third result for the A-invoice keyword. So that's a really good deal here. And since that time, there were no other competitors beat this page. So it was a risky thing to do in their high season, but we got the results. They increased their A-invoice traffic, and there is no competitors above them, only the government websites. So that was a good deal there. And again, I can say that we shouldn't be afraid of changing some stuff. We should be open to experimentation. Sometimes a simple URL change or a meta title change can really affect many things. Yunus, I guess you will say something about it.
What can I say rather than congratulations? It's a great work. We already see the success, even though there are some government websites dominating the top 3 results, as you said. So it's really great work.
Yes.
I cannot say.
Yeah, and I'm going to write about it in a few weeks. It will be a really long and detailed blog post in BoostROAS blog. And of course, I guess Roman had a question here about redirect loops. And he is asking how can we find redirect loops? URL redirection or redirect chains here. Actually, he provided the answer within the question.
Can you repeat the question again? Yeah, it will be good now. These URLs with redirect loop. There's some tools, there's some extensions that you can use on Chrome. Also, you can use deepcrawl for that. Deepcrawl is a great tool to see the redirect loops. The easiest way of seeing redirect loops, but you can also use other manual ways.
And of course, you can also use our friendly neighborhood frog here, Screaming Frog. This is not a promotion, by the way, guys. He just asked a question, and we love that tools. That's why he asked it. And let's continue. Who am I kidding? I'm finished, by the way. So if you want to get our weekly SEO news updates delivered to your inbox, you can just click here and subscribe to our weekly SEO newsletter. We would be happy to provide you with the latest improvements in the SEO industry and our latest broadcasts, live session videos. And it was a lovely, really lovely session, Yunus. Thank you for being with me here. And if Roman would be here, he would probably say that you are all out of this world, and we love you all, by the way. And of course, if people don't have any questions, I just want to have you a really, really great weekend, everyone. Thanks for being with us today, and have a nice weekend. Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.